learningspace.com.ng.
Hello there, you're welcome back to learningspace.com.ng. We are still on varieties of living organisms. We're not yet done with this lecture, and we have some couple of questions still left. And I hope you've been following our previous series. And if there's any question or comment, and there's any part of the lectures you feel we still need to improve on or talk on, feel free to drop your comments or to email or send, pass a call across through to us. Okay, now for this particular series, we are stepping into series 14. We've had 13 series of lectures under this particular aspect of biology. So these are 14 series. We don't want to waste much time. So we'll go straight to our first question for this series. And the question was extracted from JAM 1999 number 5. And it reads, the structure that is most commonly identified in all living cells under the light microscope is the, of course, the answer here is nucleus. Now, apart from the fact that the nucleus is the most important organelle of a cell, the nucleus also is the largest organelle of a cell. Now, being the largest organelle, it is also the most visible organelle of the cell. So please understand, you viewer out there, that the nucleus is the most important organelle of the cell, as well as being the largest and the most visible organelle of the cell. So our answer here is option C, the nucleus. The next question extracted from JAM 2000 number 3. It reads, which of the following features are associated with monocots? Which of the following features are associated with monocots? Now, quickly again, at this point, we need to differentiate between monocots and dicots. Monocots and dicots. What are they? Now, first, for number 1, monocots. There are a group of plants that have one seed leaf. They possess one seed leaf or cotyledon. They possess one seed leaf or cotyledon. Okay, while the dicots, they have two seed leaves. They have two seed leaves or cotyledon. That's one. Then secondly, for the monocots, they exhibit a type of germination called the hypogeal germination. Now, what does this mean? It means a type of germination where the cotyledons remain below the ground. The cotyledons remain below the ground, but the dicots, they exhibit the epigeal germination. Epi is a prefix which always means above or on top. So they exhibit the epigeal germination. Okay, now for monocots that exhibit hypogeal germination, a structure called the epicotyle is known to elongate. So a structure called epicotyle elongate. Okay, from the diagram you can see for the germination of seeds, you can easily identify the epicotyle. Then for the epigeal germination, the hypocotyle elongate. Hypocotyle, a structure called hypocotyle elongate. Okay, now a third difference, monocots are known to exhibit a type of root system called fibrous roots. They exhibit a fibrous root system. Okay, a fibrous root system. Then for the dicots, dicots exhibit a taproot system. They do not exhibit a fibrous root. They exhibit a taproot system. Okay, also there's what we call venation. Monocots exhibit a parallel type of venation. Now, what that means is that the veins, venation means arrangement of veins in a leaf. So which means that their veins are arranged parallelly to each other. Now, in the case of dicots, they exhibit what we call a net-like variation, net or reticulate venation. Net or reticulate venation. Now, we mustn't also forget that the leaves of monocots are sword-like. They possess sword-like leaves. Okay, unlike dicots that do not possess sword-like leaves. Now, what are examples of monocots and dicots? Now, basically, monocots examples are basically cereals. What are cereals? Cereals are grains that contain carbohydrates, like rice, like maize, like sorghum, like millet, wheat, and barley. These are all monocots. Then your dicots, what are the examples? Your legumes, they are basically dicots. Now, that's where we have the beans, the cowpea, and the groundnuts. They are all dicots. Okay, so can easily answer that question now, having the differences between monocots and dicots. The question again said, which of the following features are all associated with monocots? Of course, our answer is option C. One seed leaf, petals and floral parts in one seed leaf, petals in threes or group of threes, and parallel venation. Don't forget, venation means arrangement of veins in the leaf. Okay, monocot exhibit parallel venation, and while dicot exhibit net venation. And our next question was extracted from JAM, from JAM 2001 number 3, and it reads: viviparity. Viviparity occurs mainly in the viviparity. Okay, now there are three terms here that may be used to describe vertebrates. We have oviparity, we have ovoviviparity, and we have viviparity. Now, basically, I'm going to briefly describe each of these terms. Now, an animal is said to be oviparous. For one, an oviparous animal, one, must be an animal that exhibits the internal form of fertilization. The internal form of fertilization. That's an oviparous animal. Now, apart from exhibiting the internal form of fertilization, an oviparous animal is known to lay hard-shelled eggs. Hard-shelled eggs. Okay, and also, most importantly, we should understand that oviparous animals incubate their eggs outside their body. They incubate their eggs outside their body. So these are three basic terms that can be used to describe oviparity. So when you are told an animal is oviparous, understand that one, the animal must exhibit internal fertilization. In other words, the form of fertilization that takes place here involves the male animal or the male organism of that particular species releasing or ejaculating the male sex cells into the body of the female animal. Then also, their eggs are always hard-shelled and they incubate their eggs outside their body. Of course, examples here include your poultry birds, that's your fowls or your birds. They are oviparous animals. Of course, we could have some reptiles like lizards and the crocodiles. They are oviparous animals. So we have birds and lizards basically as oviparous animals. Okay, now the ovoviviparous animals, who are they? What does it mean when you are told that an animal is exhibiting ovoviviparity? Okay, let's also use terms here to define. Now, first, if you are told that an animal is exhibiting ovoviviparity, now this group of animals exhibiting ovoviviparity, basically they exhibit external fertilization. Fertilization here is external. They exhibit the external form of fertilization. Now, the eggs which are laid by these animals, usually the eggs are not hard-shelled. The eggs usually are they possess a leathery shell, a very leathery shell. They possess leathery shell, not hard-shelled eggs. Leathery shells. Okay, and in this case, most times the eggs are always laid in a jelly-like structure, in a jelly string, in a jelly-like structure, and that is where some of these eggs may be incubated. Now, two things we need to know here. It is not in all cases of ovoviviparous animals we may have leathery shelled eggs to be incubated in a jelly string. Now, we also have cases of ovoviviparity in some group of animals that exhibit internal fertilization and the eggs are incubated within their body. Now, this can be seen in some species of snakes. In other words, I need to differentiate something here. Ovoviviparity or ovoviviparous animals may exhibit external fertilization. For example, in the case of toad and frog, or they may exhibit internal fertilization in the case of some species of snakes. That's one. Now, again, ovoviviparous animals may lay leathery eggs in a jelly-like structure, as in the case of toads and frog, or they may decide to incubate their eggs within their body in the case of also these species of snakes. Now, in the case of snakes, where they decide to incubate their eggs within the body, what it means is the hatching of the eggs will occur within the body, eventually may lead to the death of the mother snake on emergence of the young snakes from the body of the mother. So this is a kind of a bit complex term, and that's why I'm taking my time to explain. I go over it again. I said ovoviviparity. In this case, fertilization may be external when we are referring to toads, or internal in the case of some species of snake. Eggs may be laid in a jelly-like structure, in a jelly string, and such eggs are usually leathery. They are not hard-shelled. Or the eggs may be incubated within the body in the case of the snake. So that's for ovoviviparity. Therefore, viviparity, the last one, viviparous animals are animals, one, that exhibit internal fertilization. Eggs are not laid in this case. They exhibit internal fertilization. Eggs are not laid, and after the fertilization, an embryo is formed, and this embryo is nourished with the aid of a structure called placenta. So basically, viviparous animals are those animals that exhibit internal fertilization. The fertilization process definitely leads to the production of an embryo, which is nourished with the aid of a structure called placenta. Of course, in this category, this is where we have mammals. Mammals are found present in this category. They are found present in this category. So with this, now we can get our answer to the question. It says viviparity occurs mainly in the, of course, the correct answer is option D, amphibians. Amphibians, that's the toad and the frogs. Okay, that's option D, amphibians. Okay, then don't forget again, I made mention of mammals exhibiting viviparity. Now, before we move on to the next question, I still need to buttress this point or make this point known. Mammals also basically can be of three categories. We could have a group of mammals called monotremes. We could have a group of mammals called the marsupial mammals, and we could have a group of mammals called the placenta mammals. Now, who are the monotremes? Most times we say mammals are animals that give birth to their young ones alive, but at this point in time, I need to make you understand that there are a group of mammals that are known to lay eggs. Now, this group of mammals that are known to lay eggs are basically called monotremes. So monotremes are mammals that lay eggs. Egg-laying mammals are called monotremes. Now, what are the examples? We have the platypus. Platypus is an animal that has a beak like that of a duck. Platypus is a monotreme. It's a mammal. It doesn't give birth to its young one alive. It lays eggs. Then we also have the scaly anteater. The anteater, which is commonly called pangolin. So these are special cases of mammals that do not give birth to their young ones alive, but they lay eggs. So in defining mammals, be careful in saying they are all animals that give birth to their young ones alive, because we have a category of mammals called monotremes that are known to be egg-laying, and that's where we have the duck-billed platypus, that's the duck-beaked platypus, and the scaly anteater, commonly called pangolin. Now, the marsupial mammals, on the other hand, they are those mammals that have this specially designed structure called a pouch, which they use in carrying their young ones about. We call it a pouch. So an example of a mammal in this category is the kangaroo. The kangaroo is a marsupial mammal. It's a marsupial mammal. Then lastly, we now have the placenta mammal, the category to which man belongs. That is mammals that nourish their embryos using a structure called placenta. Thank you very much for watching.